How they hung, everybody. So, my chair is so squeaky. Today, I am going to review a movie that a lot of anime fans probably haven't seen or do not want to watch. I'm going to review the 1992 anime film Shoujo Tsubaki, or known as Midori. Now, this film, I will say right now, it's not as insanely bad as everybody says it to be. Namely, everybody says that the movie is so incredibly horrifying and disturbing because of one scene that everybody always points out, which isn't even the disturbing part to me, but like I said, it's the one that everybody points out. In this scene, spoilers, not really, because they were just kind of there. A bunch of puppies get stepped on and smashed into just a pile of guts. And to a lot of people is the most disturbing scene in the entire film, and that alone is why people won't watch it. The movie just makes them sick when they see that. And yes, admittedly, it's a pretty gross scene, but it's like one of 3 disturbing scenes in the entire film. It's not really as gory as everybody depicts it to be. Okay, there's very few gore scenes in it, actually. To me, the disturbing part comes a little bit more halfway through the film, which I will get to in a minute. But I will say I did quite enjoy the film. It's a film that I would watch again. Let's get right into it. This film is a little under an hour long, and it's basically about this girl. I believe she's 10 or 11, somewhere in there. Her name is Midori, obviously, and she is tricked into becoming a part of this circus, this traveling freak show. And this is after she lost her mother. She's basically orphaned. She is tricked into joining this freak show, travels on the road with them to different places. They force her to do all the shit that they don't want to do, and it's actually quite sad watching it. She eventually, though, kind of gets used to them. They kind of grow on her, which is kind of odd, because if I am basically kidnapped and forced to do all this shit in a traveling circus, I'm not gonna grow on to them. I'd probably run the first chance I get. They don't exactly explain how long she is part of this freak show. It might be so many months, so many years even. But eventually, they come across this magician. Can't recall his name, but he performs Western magic. One of his big tricks is that he can climb into a bottle, like a glass bottle that's got just like about this wide, and then of course is just like a big bowl on the inside. He could climb into it and then get back out, and that's basically his whole shtick. This is where the creepy part comes in. Midori falls in love with this guy. All right, he's a midget too. But the fact of the matter is that he is still an adult that looks like he is, shit, I don't know, maybe his early 30s, mid 30s, somewhere in there. Just as I have to gather from, like, his features, the way he's drawn and everything. He looks like to be in his early to mid 30s, and remember, she's like a 10-year-old or something, so yeah. It's a little creepy. And those were the disturbing scenes to me, because they show some scenes where they're sleeping together and whatnot, like not like actually fucking sleeping together, but just sleeping next to each other and stuff. I don't know, that's really creepy to me. So that to me is the more disturbing part than the puppies, because that's just shock value, that's gore. But he also knows a form of ancient Chinese magic that is very odd. It's almost like a type of illusion that he can perform on people, as is shown in one scene where he loses his temper and he makes the whole crowd basically morph and blow up and just melt into these weird things and melt into nothing or just a pile of blood or whatever. That was a really disturbing scene as well, but apparently it was part of this Chinese form of magic, as in none of the people actually died, as I recall, but they were able to feel these things maybe, and they were able to see these things, but it wasn't actually happening. It's very confusing, but it was a very intriguing scene nonetheless. So towards the end of the film, Midori and the Western magician, he's still Japanese, but he performs Western magic, they both leave the circus together, but the town that they end up in, the magician goes to look for, I believe it was a couple of drinks for them, and he ends up getting mugged and shanked. So he ends up dying there. Midori is looking for him, because she's in this place that she doesn't know, all alone. The ending was a tad confusing. Some people have explained it as she is trapped. She doesn't know how to live in the outside world because she's been in this freak show for so long. But this whole film, it was very interesting. I'm actually very curious to see the live action film that they made last year of it, because that would be something, especially if they keep some of the scenes in there. So I've actually got to look for that to see that. But this is an eroguro horror film. It didn't really have too many elements of horror to me, at least, but maybe that's because I've become desensitized over the years of all the horror that I've seen, all the gore, all the everything. But the production of this film, which is one reason that it really intrigued me to watch it, other than when I watched Bob Samurai's video of the most disgusting anime, I believe is what he said, or like the most, yeah, I believe it was the most disgusting anime ever or something like that. And he put this in there at number 2, which I don't believe whatsoever. I don't agree with whatsoever, because it wasn't that gross in terms of visual aspect, other than a few scenes, but in terms of the fact that she married this magician or whatever, that was pretty creepy to me. But this film was actually single-handedly created by Hiroshi Harada, and alone he wrote it, he directed it, and he drew over 5,000 sheets of animation, all by himself. The film actually was destroyed, like the entire thing. What we see is only less than an hour of it, which, I mean, we're not exactly sure how long the original film was, but yeah. Because there were scenes in it that were illegal. I mean, obviously, her marrying the magician, that's pretty illegal everywhere. But maybe the child abuse, child abuse. Well, yeah, child abuse. Damn, them freak show nuts, they really did abuse her. But also the animal abuse, I know that's illegal in a lot of countries, especially stomping puppies to death. That's pretty rough. But yeah, because it was banned in so many different countries, and the few theaters that this film was screened in were only in Japan, the original film was destroyed, but what's left of it is what is available now. This film is actually on YouTube if you want to watch it. There are no official sites, I believe, that stream this film. There was only one DVD release, which was released in France, I believe, and that was a long time ago as well. But those DVDs are out there as well. There's actually one that's only like $28 on Amazon, which I would definitely buy, because this is a hard film to find on DVD. Aside from the disturbing aspects, this is actually a very interesting story if you're able to grasp what you can from the film that we have. I mean, it gets the general story across. Who knows what the old lost footage might have had that could have added to the story and cleared up some things even. But I already rated it on my anime list. I should have wrote it down before I started this, but I believe I gave it an 8 out of 10, and I still stand by that. I really did enjoy this film, besides the disturbing aspects, but maybe also in part of the disturbing aspects of the film, because I like fucked up movies, okay? I own almost the entire Saw franchise. I watch shit from the deep web. You know, I watch fucked up shit. I don't go on the deep web. No way. I just watch stuff from it that's already outside of the deep web. But yeah, I give this film an 8 out of 10. If you've seen it, let me know what you think of it in the comments below. And also remember to leave a comment telling me how much of a psycho I am, because I actually liked it. Liked it so much that I gave it a fucking 8. What's wrong with me? I'm going to watch the live action movie too, because I gotta see what they put in this, because that's a messed up movie. Thank you all for watching. Like, subscribe, all that hoodad. Alright, I'll see you all in the next video. Peace.